Don't get so caught up with the allure of being an entrepreneur. Like the number one reason cited for being an entrepreneur is to be their own boss. Don't do that. That's a mistake. Be passionate about building something. Be passionate about building an asset, building a company, employing people, and building something that can ultimately operate without you. That's entrepreneurship. But just doing it because you want to be your own boss, now you're just a solopreneur.
An entrepreneurial seizure can kill you.
Okay. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Street Smarts. And today we're actually answering a question hot off the press.
I was about to say.
On the Reddit channel.
Fresh off the press.
And so this is a really common question that I think most people who are thinking about making the entrepreneurial leap have. So this guy posted about 17 hours ago. It says, should I quit my job to be an entrepreneur? And here's the post that he made. So I already quit my job, but it's not what you think. I quit my job around 2 weeks ago at a company I was at for 4 years because I was miserable. I was having anxiety attacks because of the job. So I decided to quit as I'm not a person who has ever suffered from mental illness. Since I've left, I felt great. I found a job in the same industry. They offer me similar pay, but the company is much different and the things that would cause me panic attacks are non-existent in the new work environment. Since I've been off work, though, I've been looking into ways to start my own business. My background is in B2B sales. I've been very successful at it. So with the right concept in business, I know I can succeed with the selling piece. Somewhere I can start is photography. Professionally, as I already do this on the side, if I dedicated my time to it 100%, I feel like I would be able to meet my salary. My dilemma is whether or not I should just take the leap and dive into photography business, or if I should take this job in the same industry with less hours and work on my photography until I'm 100% sure I can do this. I have 5 months of expenses saved up, which is a little wiggle room at least. I hate corporate life. My dream has always been to own my own business. But at this stage, I feel like there's a lot of research I still need to do and set up before getting going. So let's go through it. Let's knock these down, each of these things. So there's each of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different parts that I think all have valid things that we should answer. So the first part is, I'm never a person who suffered from mental illness. Well, here's what I can tell you. Entrepreneurship, especially early days, is going to test your mental endurance.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
You think that it's stressful working at a job, you're going to get anxiety. When you become an entrepreneur, you're staking your flag and you're saying, hey, I'm personally accountable for everything that happens. So you're not going to be able to say these aspects of this job outside of me are what's causing this. And it's a roller coaster, man. Some days I feel like I'm on top of the world. Sometimes I feel like I'm the crappiest entrepreneur on the planet.
Absolutely.
And that's just the game. And you don't actually, never goes away. You just get better at dealing with it. And you've had those little wins, so you're able to move past it. The second piece, I found a job in an industry. They offered me similar pay, but the company is much different. And the things that would cause my panic attacks are non-existent in this new work environment.
For
now. Yeah. So that's it maybe feels that way because it's new and it's different and some of those pressures aren't there, but it's pretty tough to say that. That said, dude, if you weren't happy at your other job, good on you. Way to go find a new gig. And
Capitalism.
Yeah. God bless it, man. You don't like working for me? Go work for somebody else. The next part is, you're super confident in your selling. I would say that selling is one piece of the puzzle and it's important, but there's 8 core concepts in every business: leadership, finance, operations, growth, product, service, sales, marketing. And so there's 7 other pieces that you probably need to get very clear on.
Facts.
Before you pull the trigger, which is marketing and sales are 2 different things. So what is your offer? What is your product offering? How are you going to service the customer? How are you going to manage your finances? How are you going to grow a team beyond yourself? Because don't call yourself an entrepreneur if you're just going to go do solopreneurship, freelance entrepreneur. You can be a really, you can be a really highly paid freelance photographer. Mm-hmm. You're not an entrepreneur. You just have a glorified job with no benefits most of the time. But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you could do that, become a really awesome freelance photographer while having a full-time job.
True indeed.
And I would also say that you're probably grossly overestimating how quickly you can get this thing up to speed. Not to say don't do it.
Well, I can speak from firsthand experience. That was a mistake that I made.
Yep.
Oh, I'm confident in my abilities. Hey, I'm confident in my sales ability. I'm confident in my marketing, brand development, all the yada, yada, yada. But I look up in this 6 months after leaving the job, 8 months, 9 months. Oh, man. Ooh, I'm feeling the pressure. Mental illness.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. You overestimate it. And
it's different. And we don't know, one thing we don't know about this guy is we don't know how old he is.
Facts.
If I was in my 20s, single, no kids, like, dude, I would say go for it. You can always go get a job, especially if you have sales skill.
We'll talk a little bit about, so let's just say he has responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
What's my guy's name? Does he have a name? Is
Politics and weed. We might want to talk about that handle.
So politics and weed. Let's just say you have responsibilities. Samson here was in your shoes, having had responsibilities.
Yep.
In a job. Just share for a minute or so, just how you thought about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's two ships on an ocean, and they're slowly but surely moving towards one another. And you need them to get close enough that you can step off of one ship onto the other ship. But they're giant tankers and they move super slow.
Fireside chat here.
Yeah. So the reality is, the way that I thought about it was, I have a wife who I love very much. I have 2 daughters that I love very much. I had a mortgage, cars, other responsibilities, other businesses. So I decided to go the slower route, which was, I'm going to build these things on the side where I don't need the money so that I can keep pouring money back into it. And I can use that to hire other people and get leverage on the only thing that scales in business, which is time.
Okay. So for him, this looks like working the job.
Yep.
Building the photography business on the side, but actually building a photography business that he brings people into.
Correct.
Removing his ability to produce the photos and the outcomes out of the equation.
And the beautiful thing about having a job and building a business like that on the side is when you step out, you're now stepping into a company that creates income for you without you necessarily doing the work. Then you can also do the work on top of that and make money. So that's the trap. The trapping is solopreneurship, which is really just a glorified job.
But okay, so let me do the inverse of that. Let's just say he's young, no responsibilities. Mm-hmm. One thing to consider, I'm with you, in alignment with you, of like, build it, let the ships come together, take the leap. If you're absolutely desperate, you can spend some time in this business with a high sense of urgency, but you have to learn, my friend, politics and weed, that you have to get a fundamental understanding of what a business is. Otherwise, you're jumping into freelance solopreneurship.
100%. And there's a great book that you've recommended called
The Business Model Generation.
Yeah. And then that's good about thinking about business models. And it's not just about making money. One of the things you said distinctly was you're solely thinking about how to replace your income. That's a job. I'd be thinking about how you can get leverage with that money that you're making from the photography business so that you don't actually have to do all the photography. That way, because a job is a job, you can only sell it one time. But if you had 10 photographers and you could sell 10 jobs all in the same hour and you took 20% of each of those, now all of a sudden you have a business.
Well, and I think the last thing I would say is you want to find out if you're actually an entrepreneur. One way to do it, keep your job.
Yep.
Actually go about building a business. If you're actually doing it the right way, you have sales experience, you're going to find out in a matter of time if you actually want to do this.
100%. The last thing I'll say, and then we can close on this. The other thing that gives me pause about you being ready for entrepreneurship is the fact that you went to Reddit to a bunch of people who you don't know to get advice. So that tells me you're probably not running in the circles of entrepreneurs, and you need to change who you're hanging out with. If you can change who you're hanging out with, you can surround yourself with actual entrepreneurs, not freelancers, actual entrepreneurs, then you're going to learn a lot by osmosis because you need knowledge, which is like the book smarts, and you need experience. Mm-hmm. And in the absence of experience, you need to know the attitudes, the skills, and the habits of entrepreneurs. And when you do those things, that gives you the confidence and the competence to be a successful entrepreneur.
Say less.
So with that, should I quit my job to be an entrepreneur? Lots of things to consider. My answer is always yes, if you want to do it, followed by, are you ready? And don't be naive. Business is not for the faint of heart.
An entrepreneurial seizure can kill you.
But if you're young, you also have time to recover, right? Don't get so caught up with the allure of being an entrepreneur. Like the number one reason cited for being an entrepreneur is to be their own boss. Don't do that. That's a mistake. Be passionate about building something. Be passionate about building an asset, building a company, employing people, and building something that can ultimately operate without you. That's entrepreneurship. But just doing it because you want to be your own boss, now you're just a solopreneur. So politics and weed, we hope this helps you.
There you have it.
If you're a Panda Profits listener, we hope this helps you as well and gives you the courage and maybe some of the wisdom before you too take the entrepreneurial leap. Until next time, peace out.